I'm Rospigliosi. I'm a lecturer at Brighton Business School in all things digital, really. I'm interested in the internet and the impact on society, the individual, and our relationship between the two. The research that I do that relates to Chrome is particularly in the area of how the internet is changing employment and the employability of graduates. I'm particularly interested in what it is that our graduates get out of studying and what it is that employers are looking for. And for the last few years, I've been looking at something that I call new vocationalism, which is trying to identify the attributes that employers want and that we can help our students develop. To my mind, new vocationalism is a recognition that what it is employers value in graduates is their willingness and their enthusiasm to learn. So graduates have, by getting into university, getting good A-level grades, have demonstrated early in their life that they're good at learning. And as they go through the process of being at university, they increasingly take ownership for their learning. So most honours degree in this country include a dissertation or a research project where a student chooses a topic and researches it in depth. And these skills, being able to identify an area where knowledge is needed, critically evaluate the resources that are available and then apply them, these are the skills that employers value in graduates rather than any particular subject-specific knowledge. I mean, certainly for a doctor, for an engineer, learning about medicine or engineering are important, but for most of the jobs that graduates from British universities go into, it seems like it doesn't matter what it was they learned. 70% of jobs on offer for graduates say open to a graduate of any discipline. And this would indicate that it's more about the process of learning and mastering that is of value to employers. Okay. A recent paper that I've written with colleagues was about research as a transferable skill. I think that the use of the internet in everyday decision-making or in the work-based context is profoundly changing the way that we think about research, what it means, who can do it, and what kind of skills we need. In the last year, I've been doing a lot of thinking about social media. Last summer, the University of Brighton hosted the first European conference on social media. And social media is something that has very rapidly changed the way that people share and communicate about ideas and thoughts. And one area that relates to my thoughts on work that we do in the Chrome group to do with employability is that the idea of the networks that we draw on to find a job is changing quite rapidly. There's been research since the 1970s, Granovetta, for example, into ideas about the importance of the weak ties, people that we just know casually and how they might lead to us finding job opportunities. Being part of a network, of Twitter or Facebook, where possibly hundreds of people that we know from various social contexts are able to share their openings, ideas and opportunities, I think is having a profound impact on the kinds of networks that might impact on employability. I've just had a book published. It's on running happiness workshops. It's 101 happiness workshops, ideas for happiness workshops. And I think that this is an idea that it's important for business schools to engage with in the context of employment, employability and the economy, because there's increasing evidence that happiness is an important metric of success within the organisation and in a broader context like the economy. Being critical of the idea of happiness as something that's expected of employees is something that's really important to think about. So the sort of work centre, call centre, performance metric that expects us all to be happy chappies in our job isn't necessarily a healthy thing. I think the field of happiness studies helps us to pull back and think about the broader sense of well-being, which is not the same as saying that we should smile at our customers and say, have a nice day, but that deep within we should feel a sense of certainty that we're all right. And I hope that the research I'm looking at would help to distinguish between the superficial demonstrators of happiness that might have a place in a corporate context and more important questions about what it is that we can do to help people feel a sense of well-being. I think there's a lot of value in making interventions, in not just assuming that happiness is a natural occurrence between humans in the organisational context. So having workshops where people are given reasons to think about how they feel about their well-being and their happiness, and then promoting happiness as something that's valued through activities. For example, I mean, the book has 101 different activities in it. Any number of them, some short, some long, might help to develop amongst a group of people a sense of happiness. And this is something that's of real value to organisations, I think.